Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. There's a posted a link to the Marvel fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios for this issue. We're almost done with our Marvel Superhero Secret Wars limited series. We are in number 11 of 12. And boy, does this end in a cliffhanger as we see Doctor Doom and the heroes, and we have the face of Doom. So, this is a really good series. I really have enjoyed covering it. And here we go, and we see the first time Doctor Doom and our title, and dust to dust. And so a healed Doctor Doom says, the Beyonder is dead, and the power which was his is now mine. I, Victor Von Doom, am the mightiest being in this or any universe. I could destroy you all with a thought. And one thing I've always thought is they always have mouths closed. You think that they would show someone actually talking by having their mouth open. So, and he has taken off his mask. And we got our creative team, Jim Shooter, Mike Zeck, and John Beaty. So, all right. And so we have all our heroes here. And so Doctor Doom continues, I suppose that is what you expect. And Wolverine says, yeah, so what are you waiting for? And Nightcrawler here, don't goad him, Wolverine. Something tells me he can do it. And Storm says, let us strike then before he has the chance. And Mr. Fantastic says, no, let's hear him out. And Captain America says, just stand ready. Don't do anything till I give the order. As always, he is the leader. And Spider-Man says, my spider sense would be tingling if Doomsday meant to kill us. And Professor Xavier says, I concur that he means us no harm, Spider-Man. Though the sheer energy of his mental process blocks my telepathic probing, I sense no aura of malice about him. And so Thor then says, speak to us, Doom. We fear thee not. And Dr. Doom here, glowing with the power, says, listen well then, I shall speak to you but once, for greater things beckon me. And so the villains are like, oh man, he's betrayed us. He's, the Riker's wondering why is he glowing, and, Absorbing Man's like, yeah, he's selling us out here. And so the Enchantress admires that. Because Dr. Doom says, we've always been disposable, pawns to be exploited and sacrificed. I'd like to tear him limb from limb. And of course, the Enchantress is like, yeah, he's gonna absolutely destroy you. But she appreciates and admires the treachery. And Thunderball says, I say we should bash his skull in. And, Bulldozer... I go into the website. I forgot his name. Maybe it's just Dozer. Us and What Army? I'm tired of getting my butts kicked in. And Wrecker says, look, I think Captain America and his jerk squad went and forgot that they let us out of the slammer when they thought that building was going to collapse. I say we scram while we have the chance. I have a playlist, by the way. Feel free to check that out. And, the Lizard's wondering where Claw is, and Absorbing Man says, I'm always a game for fight. What do you think, Legs? You want to nail Spider-Man for punching out your lamps before? And she's like, no. And so she's feeling bad because she thought she was super powerful, but then Spider-Man kind of kicked her butt here. So the Molecule Man, who is actually quite powerful, isn't going to take it anymore. He's like... he yells and says, do you hear me, Doom? The Molecule Man is going to kill you. And of course, his girlfriend here, Volcana, is like, oh, we don't wait. And so Your new friends won't save you, traitor. And he, of course, controls molecules. Now, during this time, he could only control inorganic ones, and we're gonna see here. So he's gonna confront Doctor Doom. He's like, "I'm gonna destroy you." Doctor Doom is like, "Ugh, you are such a pest." And so here he says, "I have the power to do it. You know, I control all molecules except living ones, of course, but still, I'm very powerful. Of course, molecules are molecules, but we are going to." Doctor Doom is going to tell him that he basically chooses not to control living molecules. He can actually control all molecules, and there's no difference between organic and inorganic molecules because molecules are molecules. And so he sort of fixes him and makes him even more powerful because before he had those mental blocks that he kind of put on himself. Now Doom basically got rid of them. So he is now he can pretty much do anything, which is actually gonna play a big part in Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars. So Molecule Man now goes, "I can control organic molecules. I can do anything." And so he proclaims himself as the new leader of the villains. And of course, Dr. Octopus is like, "You?" And the Absorbing Man says, "Hey, meet it. You saw what he did. You really want to cross him?" So, they want to go somewhere where they can plan what to do next. And so she says, "Let's go to my place." Remember, there's a part of Denver, one of the suburbs that is in Battle World. So they're gonna go there. And so at the same time, the heroes are going to their headquarters here. And Iron Man here is not Tony Stark. It is James Rhodes. And so they get to their headquarters here. And Professor Xavier says, "No telling where Doom went. I've tried searching psionically for him, but I haven't found a trace." And Captain America says, "Thanks anyway, Professor Xavier. Reed, what does all this mean?" And Reed says, "Honestly, Cap, without more data." And Hulk says, "Some big genius you are." Now, Hulk is sort of reverting back to his brainless cells and self. And the Wasp is like, "Oh, shush, Hulk. My goodness, you're getting nastier and nastier." And so we get a recap of all 12 issues in 3 panels here. So, of all 10 previous issue. So that's pretty good here. And so Reed Richards says, after they fight, the Doctor Doom's fight with the Beyonder, says he won. Somehow he killed the Beyonder and usurped his power. And Thor says, "I now Doom is nigh omnipotent." And Wasp says, "That's scary, Thor. It gives me the chills." And Professor Xavier says, "It's a small comfort, Wasp, but at least Doom is all we have to worry about. The Molecule Man and the other super criminals have apparently fled to some distant part of the planet." And Hulk, of course, is smashing things here. No sign of Doom, no sign of his lackeys. "Bah, give me someone to smash." Cap tells him to be careful here. So we're going to that suburb of Denver here. And she's like, "There's no food, there's no water, but the Molecule Man says he can fix it." And they all say, "We want to go home." And so Molecule Man says, "Well, I'll get you home." And so he creates this dome, and off they go. He takes the suburb. He's going to take it back to Earth. And so they see that there, and Reed's like, "We can't worry about it." And of course, Spider-Woman is from there, so she's worried about her people. But like I said, Reed says nothing we can do about it. Meanwhile, Captain America says, "Let's all just try to get some rest." And we got Colossus, who is love struck by Zaji. He wants to go see her, and so he sneaks out, and he's going to. Meanwhile, while Hulk is sleeping, he gets zapped by something. We don't know yet what it is. And so Spider-Woman's walking around, and here comes the Hulk. She's trying to talk to him, but the Hulk just continues on. And I loved how Mike Zeck puts the eyes here to let us know this isn't just your normal Hulk. So she creates a web here. She weaves a web here and thinks that'll stop him. And so Hulk is kind of stuck in there, and he gets through and then smashes her, but doesn't smash her too hard because he doesn't kill her. Then she's out, and now that thing gets on Spider Woman. And so here's Captain Marvel, who's still in that light form or whatever from the previous issue. She's going to Doctor Doom's laboratory and goes to grab Claw and then a light, and then she screams. Captain America hears that, so he's gonna go and find out. Everybody comes in here, and he's like, what happened?" And she says, "Oh, Reed asks, did Doom say anything?" And she says, "No, but he left that." And here we have a writing on the wall: "You are summoned to the Tower of Doom at dusk tomorrow." And Reed's like, "What tower?" And Ben looks outside and he says, "Offhand, I'd say that one." Must be that. And so he built himself a tower, and Doctor Doom explains that the tower is just to impress them, which seems like, I'm too big or whatever. And then he's like, "I'm tired, but I can't sleep. I just need to rest," and ask Claw to watch over him. And so at Zaji's village, here comes Colossus, and he brings her flowers. Very sweet here. And he's like, "I love you." It's a side effect of her power, because remember, the Human Torch was smitten, but Colossus is younger than the Human Torch, so he's a little bit more inexperienced, I guess, whereas the Human Torch is more of a playboy kind of thing. And so Nightcrawler teleports to Wolverine and says, "I can't find Colossus." And Wolverine says, "He ain't here, Nightcrawler, but I know where he went." And of course he goes to her. "How can he be faithless to poor Katya?" And Wolverine is like, "Hey, it is what it is, buddy." So now they end up all meeting here. They're going to go meet Doctor Doom, and Magneto's with them. I say Magneto, not Magneto. And so they show up here and are gonna go see Doctor Doom here. And so Doctor Doom basically spends a bunch of time telling them how powerful he is and how godly he is, and that there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can't do. He can do everything, yada yada yada. And he's more than just he's the alpha, the omega, and humanity's beyond him. But he's gonna ask them for a boon because of all the evil stuff that he's done. And so one of the first things he does is he brings back Kang, because remember, he had to kill them. And then he sends him back to his own time. And so he asks, "Anything can be yours, whatever you want." And so here they're still looking at Spider-Woman, because he's like, "What's wrong?" Either like, "Maybe we should ask him to send us home," and Reed's like, "Nope, I can send us home." And finally Captain America just says, "We want nothing from you, Doom. Thanks anyway." And then he's like, "Very well, our dealings are ended forever. Leave as you entered. Soon I shall ascend to a higher plane. Until then, and mark this, I will not suffer any disturbances. Go, and do not seek to enter my presence again, for I will utterly destroy any who dare." And Captain America's like, "Okay." So he's beyond all things, but he's still a jerk. So they're all out except Spider-Woman. And so Captain America's gonna go back inside, and they're like, "If I'm not out in 15 minutes, leave. That's an order." And so Captain America is gonna go, and here's Doctor Doom all reclining here, and he's saying, "Sorry to bother you. I'm looking for Spider Woman," and he sends Claw to go find her, and then sees that picture and says, "Is that your mom?" And then he says yes. And so here comes Claw, and then he's now caught in Spider Woman's web, and she attacks him, and now that thing goes on him, and she's unconscious. And so basically he now says, he explains to Captain America about his mom, and he says he's gonna rescue her from a Mephisto. And So Captain America says, Doctor Doom continues saying about how powerful he is and this and that and that, and um, Captain America says, "You look pretty human to me now." And he says, "This for your protection, because I'm too powerful," and yada yada yada. All right, and so eventually, he says, "I'll find Spider Woman and take my leave." And she's in the hall, says Claw, and says, "What's going on?" And he says, "The inevitable, I fear." And so, um, they fight Spider Woman, and she's like, "I don't know what happened." And so they're leaving. And so meanwhile, Colossus is making out with Zaji, and they're like, Xavier calls him telepathic. He's like, "Go away," and they're like, "Nope, we need you here immediately." And Colossus says, "I must go, Zaji, but I promise I'll return. I'll come back to you. I love you more than anything. Soon I'll be with you again, and then I swear I'll never leave you again." Oh, poor Colossus. And so all the heroes are gathered here to determine what to do about Doctor Doom. And so the Wasp starts and says, "I don't understand, Cap. What's wrong with Doom wanting to rescue his mother's spirit?" And Captain America's, "Nothing. Under the circumstances, I might even volunteer to help him. It seems like a very humane and human things to want." And so he says, "That's what worries me. Doom claimed he's transcended all human desire. What if he hasn't?" Of course, Doctor Doom spent like 3 pages telling us how he's transcended. Um, and Captain America continues, "We've seen the power of the Beyonder, Doom's power, in action before. It's such power that even now, nothing in the universe can take place without his consent. That kind of authority rightfully belongs to no man. No matter how enlightened or benevolent he's become, freedom to do what Doom allows us is not freedom. Remember, the first thing Doom did with his newfound power," and of course Reed says, "was repair the scars on his face. I see your points." And so Captain America says, "I'm not certain I'm right. Perhaps we should accept Doom at his word, not borrow trouble, go on our way and count our blessings." And Richard says, "No, we've got to stop it now before it's too late. Get him to give up the power." And of course, Johnny and the Thing agree with him. He goes, "Whatever Reed says goes with us." And so everybody here is gonna vote yes. Everyone says, we're gonna fight Doctor Doom. And so they're like, even Magneto says, "I'll fight." And so Colossus kind of doesn't wanna, and Captain America says, you don't have to agree. The choice is yours. Keep in mind, by the way, that if we do decide to confront him, it is possible that we might be annihilated on the blue, on the spot by a bolt from the blue. And so it's it's good. So he's like, "I don't know." So he says, he cries here, "Forgive me, Zaji. I say we fight." And then, boom, all the heroes die. The end. I'm kidding. There's still one more issue. So, what a cliffhanger. What a way to end the issue with Doctor Doom destroying everybody. So, next issue will actually be a double-sized issue. So, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars number 11 by Jim Shooter, Mike Zeck with John Beaty in the inks. I really like this series. Sad to see it come to an end. Like and subscribe, and I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.